experience has been is that most spirits are good, and they're just ordinary people. I mean, like us, only they just don't have their physical body anymore. A lot of the spirits we talk to, they're fathers, mothers, kids, sisters, brothers. You know, they're just ordinary people, and they do want to communicate with you 90% of the time. We wanted it to record all night.
Okay.
And while I was standing here trying to adjust the camera, one of these figures pops up behind me in the room. And you turn around and look, and there's nobody there.
Nobody there.
Oh.
So that's when you know it's picking something up. And so whatever that entity is, it's not materialized enough for you to see it with the naked eye, but it is enough there that the sensors are picking it up.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
This is his skeleton right now. So the 3D imager is picking that up, and whenever he moves, that skeleton is going to move with him. But what this camera does is it shoots out all of these little dots all over the whole area, and it's kind of like sonar with bats. Length of time it takes the dots to bounce off of you and come back determines how deep that particular image is. And so then when it picks up an image that looks like a person, it will attach the skeleton to that person. So it's pretty cool. It's getting like half of him right now. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, it's really creepy. When they're answering questions, it's kind of freaky. Because you're sitting there going, okay, I know I'm not making these move, and they're moving.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I've actually used these for the purpose they're intended.
Really?
Yeah, to find electricity?
To find water.
Oh,
Water?
to find water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know some people that work in construction, and apparently they still use those to find electrical currents.
Honestly, I'm here because I'm very curious about this as well. So I'm kind of that skeptic, but very curious. So what would you tell somebody that is kind of the skeptic of what you would do?
It's so totally different than what you see on television. We've been on television before, and we do know that a lot of things on television are definitely not what you're seeing with the finished product. Yeah. In fact, when we were on TV, we had to sign a confidentiality clause. They can sue you for $500,000 if you tell anybody the secrets behind the show and all this stuff. It had nothing to do with ghost hunting. But so a lot of times what you see on TV is even recreated a lot of times. Because if they don't get something on the first take, they're going to be like, okay, go back in there and let's see if we can recreate this.
It's dramatic.
Not saying it didn't actually happen, but, you know, just don't believe everything you see on TV. Okay, guys, I want to start out by saying that we understand that this is your place, and we're just here visiting, so we don't want you to think we're intruding or anything. We just did want to come in and communicate with y'all a little bit. So, is there anyone here that would communicate with me today? Yes. Okay, can you pull these rods out straight for me? Straight out to the front, please. Point them all the way across. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'd still be doing them, and then you'll just start to feel like really tired. And they
Totally
say that's
drained.
because, like she said, they can draw off your energy to try to do things, to try to move things, or speak, or whatever.
And you were not manipulating those either.
Yeah,
I was
zoomed in on your hands, like
I was watching, and you were not manipulating those.
No,
so that was.
I try to be really.
You guys want a chair?
Where's the
It's right.
If we catch an orb on camera, if it's something and it's in all three pictures, it's usually not something.
I'm just trying to see if there's.
So, like if it's the same, you'll see like right in front of her face right here. I took the first one. There's nothing. The next one, you see that white bubble? That's an orb. And even if you zoom in, you'll see it's like a really bright
It's basically a ball of energy.
See right here?
yeah.
Wow.
That's the paint right there. So you see it's just floating right here above where her head is. So it wasn't there in the first picture. It's here in the second picture. Third picture, it's way over here.
So it
So it
moved.
moved from over here around to that
See?
way. Yeah.
It's above her head. It's over there about.
And for camera purposes, We were right here when that happened. Nothing was happening. So
And you
that
don't
was
see-
Yeah, there's no
That was
flashlights.
crazy.
There's no lights for flashing around. It just, and a lot of times you can tell the dust between dust and orbs, because in places like this, it's going to be dusty, right? Sometimes you'll take pictures, you'll see dust, and dust is usually see-through.
It's clear.
It's like a,
Yeah.
it's usually a ball, but you can see through it. Usually orbs are really bright like that, like they're little balls of light. Or a lot of orbs are not quite that bright. It's a circle. And you
spiral.
actually see all these little, when you zoom in, it has all kinds of spirals inside.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're looking at like plasma through a microscope. Some of them actually look like they have faces.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, so sorry, we got
We got done looking at the attic.
I just, you know, it's just like, this really must be something, because I watch a lot of shows.
This is Rachel's favorite part. She always says.
I'm the picture taker.
Pictures of everything. And a lot of the times, if you zoom in enough, we've gotten faces, like actual faces of people that were just tiny, tiny, tiny.
Is there any spirits here that would like to communicate with us? Ooh, yes.
Really fast, so it's
That is- Okay, can you pull these rods straight out to the front for me, please?
Looks like it has a smiley face.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Heard noise in the next room. Okay. Was that you making that noise in the next room? He says no. He's like, nah, fool, I'm doing the rods. Okay. Are there any children spirits in this building?
You hear that box?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'll give it a shot.
You have to be super still.
All right, so I know my voice is not as sweet as hers, but do you want to talk to me?
He's like,
Nothing.
That's a yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, can you pull the rod back out, please, for me? Thank you. Come on, pull out just a little bit more.
There it is. You're doing good.
I went to New Orleans just a couple of years ago, and I stayed at this place called the La Pavillon Hotel. And the place was haunted. They said that there were spirits there because there was like a jasmine mine, and the slaves were mining in there, and they couldn't, you know, they didn't have nothing proper to cover their face up. So when they inhaled the jasmine, they died, and their spirits roamed through the hotel. And they were saying that depending on what floor you were on, and I think like one of them was like 8 or 9, because I was on one of those floors, and you might experience something like that. So they said, if you just see any kind of thing that's off, it's a ghost. Don't worry about it.
No big deal.
You know, said the guy that never seen a ghost or experienced no paranormal activity. But there was some actual activity with the lights flickering on and off, and I just thought that it was, you know, said, well, they're not going to harm you. They're, you know, they're just there.
Right, right. Most of the time they won't.